All right, you guys will let me know when we're good to start. Brian, are we set? Wake them up back there? All right. Well, good evening, and thank you for joining me for something that I think is going to be great news for almost every family in the city of Detroit and really in the country with children 17 or under. And that's the expanded child tax credit, which is one of the most important pieces of legislation for families this country has passed. And we're talking about it today because I don't think a lot of people know it's going into effect on Thursday. And so in March, President Biden signed the American Rescue Plan. And I stood here 2 months ago and talked about the part of that plan that brought $826 million to the city of Detroit. And we talked about how we're going to spend that money. And we then had 63 community meetings. In Detroit City Council 2 weeks ago appropriated that money. Detroit is ahead of the rest of the country in starting to put that money to work for our citizens. That was one part of the act, but I think as you probably know, I went to Washington, D.C. at the president's request. I lobbied for this act, and there's another provision that is probably even more important to the parents of this country, and that's the child care tax credit. And if you haven't heard about it, I'm going to take you through it tonight, and if as you're listening, you think to yourself, I've got friends, relatives who need to hear this, tell them to tune in quickly, because this is a lot of money that's going to be coming very soon if you take advantage of it. So here's what it is. The child tax credit gives cash to families up to $3,600 a child, and it starts coming in monthly payments this Thursday, July 15th. This basically is to offset the damage of COVID on our children this year. And you know the toll that COVID took on our children. The school-age children, most of them lost an entire school year. But they lost a lot more than that. They couldn't see their friends for periods of times. They may have had their camps canceled. They may have had to be out of their sports teams. Their activities may have been canceled. And they may well have been dealing with family members out of work and home unemployed during a very stressful period. And so what the President and Congress did was put in this one-time child tax credit to go to families to offset this. And as we all know, the wealthier families in this country had ways to adjust to it. The wealthier school districts actually ran pretty good schooling because they were used to doing online and laptop education. But families of lower income didn't have those same options. And so what the president wanted to do was to get the parents of this country a check so that you could start to do something for your children. And maybe it is to send them to that camp they wanted to go to. Maybe it is to get them signed up for that activity. Maybe it's to buy them a new set of clothes so they feel good when they get to finally go back to school very shortly. Or maybe it's something more basic. Getting them a new bed if they've outgrown the old one, or fixing the furnace, or getting some food. Everybody is going to have different needs. But unlike the city money where we had to have a lot of community meetings, this money goes directly to you. And you can spend it on your children and your family as you see fit. And so I want to start with, this is who it applies to. If you are a single head of household that's making less than $112,500 or a married couple making less than $150,000, you get the full child tax credit. If you are making, as a single, $200,000 or a married couple $400,000, you get a partial credit. So when you think about this, this is upwards of 90% of all Detroiters. It's probably 95% of all Detroiters. And so think about the conversation you've been having this week. How many people you know who have young children are telling you, I can't wait till Thursday when I get my first check for the thousands of dollars I have coming? If you haven't been hearing that conversation, there's a good chance they don't know. And if you're listening to me now and you know people who should be hearing about this, text them quickly or call them quickly and tell them to tune into this. because this is very real money that's available right now. This, the White House says, will lift 20,000 children in Detroit out of poverty this year. This is what the country has done to offset the damage of COVID. And you don't get the money to move out of poverty this year if we don't claim it properly. So I want to start by thanking our congressional delegation, Debbie Stabenow, Gary Peters, Brenda Lawrence, Rashida Tlaib. They fought for this bill from beginning to end, and it's no surprise, it passed by just a handful of votes in the House, and it passed by one vote in the Senate with Vice President Harris, who was in town today, casting the tie-breaking vote. Elections matter, and these were the folks that got it done for you. So let me talk to you about what your cash payments are. This is going to be hard to believe because we've never seen anything like this. We're probably never going to see anything like this again. But it's why it's so important to get it now. If you have a child 5 years or under in your household, you will get $3,600 cash for each child. Straight to you, no strings. If your child's between 6 and 17, you'll get $3,000 for each child. There's no limit. Now, the age is December 31st, 2021. That's when they're going to calculate the age. So if your child is 5 now, but he or she turns 6 in November, they'll be down to a $3,000 child by December 31st. On the other hand, if you're pregnant and you're going to deliver in the next few months, you're going to get an additional child. So everything is measured as of December 31st. So think about how many children will fall into these ages in your household come this December 31st. And you can do the calculation right now on how much money that you are entitled to. This is, again, as I say, like nothing that we have seen. It's not a tax refund. This is cash to you. Even if you didn't make enough money to pay any income tax last year, you're getting $3,600 for the 5 and under children, and you're getting $3,000 for the 6 to 17-year-old children. That money's coming back. It's not a refund. Somebody says to you, I didn't file my income tax, I didn't make enough money. No. You're entitled to this, and we want you to get it, and it's only for 2021. And so I know there's people who want to do it for future years. I don't know what the likelihood of that is, but this is a one-time thing for 2021 that is for offsetting the effect of COVID on your children on this unbelievable year. So how much are you entitled to? $3,000 if the child is 17 and under, $3,600 if they're 5 and under. So here's how it works. You get a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. That's 2 children, $3,600 each. You are going to get $7,200. Let's say you have a 12-year-old and a 15-year-old. Those are 2 children, $3,000 each. You're going to get $6,000. Let's say you have a 9-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 1-year-old. You're going to get $3,600 for the 4-year-old and the 1-year-old, $3,000 for the 9-year-old. You're going to get $10,200 in cash. You know people in your life that have 3 children along these ages? How much would $10,000 matter to them? Will that change the quality of their lives? For a lot of people, this is going to be life-changing, and that's why we have to be so sure that our families get this money, and that's why I'm taking the time tonight to show you how this is working. When will you get it? This is kind of interesting. Starting Thursday, the federal government is going to start sending out monthly payments. So you're going to get half of it in 6 monthly payments starting Thursday. You get the other half when you file your tax return at the end of the year. And I'll show you how that's going to work. So let's say you have a child who's 5 years old or under. On July 15th, you will get $300. And then on August 15th, you get $300. On September 15th, you get $300. October 15th, November 15th, December 15th, you'll get $1,800. And then when you file your 2021 tax return, you'll get another $1,800 for $3,600 total. And for each child that's 6 to 17, you'll get $250 in July, August, September, October, December. And then when you file your 2021 taxes, you'll get another $1,500. You'll get $3,000 total. So you could get significant monthly payments starting on Thursday. So let me go back to my example of a household with 3 children, a 1-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 9-year-old. Here's what you're going to see. On July 15th, there's going to be $850 deposited in your checking account, assuming that the IRS has your information. And then you'll get $850. How much would this matter to a family? To get $850 every single month, and then get $5,100 when you file your taxes. And I want to talk a minute about filing your tax return. If you're like me, normally it's April 15th. I'm right up against the deadline. I file at the last possible second. Next year, you're not going to want to do that. You can file your taxes as early as late January. Do we have a water here somewhere? Hopefully we do. You can file your taxes as early as late January. And so you will want to file in late January because your check, the other $5,100, comes after your taxes get filed. So this is going to change your mindset for getting your taxes done. You're going to want to have that stuff together at the end of December and into your tax preparer right away to get that check. This is what we need to make sure our residents receive. Now, you don't need to be the biological parent. There are lots of different kinds of families and lots of different kinds of guardians. The question is, do you claim that child on your taxes? Could be grandparents, could be aunts or uncles, foster parents. If you are taking care of that child and you claim the child is dependent on your taxes, you can get, thank you very much, you can get this money. Now, just as the IRS rules are now for dependents, the child has to live with you at least 6 months out of the year. The child's with you for 4 months and with somebody else for 8 months. The person who has them 8 months is the one who can claim this. So only one person can claim the payment. On a joint custody agreement, usually that is worked out in the settlement, but one way or another, only one parent can take the credit. In some cases, you're going to have to work it out. And your child must have a Social Security number to get these payments. Ordinarily, the hospital will make sure when the baby's born, you get a Social Security number. But if you are in a situation for some reason your child never got a Social Security number, now's the time to call the Social Security Administration, because there has to be a Social Security number attached to your filing in order for the IRS to be sure that each child is only getting one check. So, somebody who you're taking care of that you've been showing on your taxes, you are entitled to those checks. So how do I get the payments? Well, they will automatically deposit the checks into your bank account if you answer yes to these 3 questions. You shouldn't have to do anything if you say yes to these 3 questions. Did you file a federal income tax return for 2019 or 2020? If you actually filed an income tax return for either of those years, and did you claim the children as dependents on your return? So the IRS has a record that you filed the tax and you claim those dependents. And does the IRS have your banking information? So if you received a stimulus check deposited to your bank account, they've got it. So anybody who got a stimulus check dropped directly into their bank account, that filed a tax return and has dependents, you should be able to look at your account by Friday and see a deposit. You might want to give the federal government a few days leeway, but you should see a check, and it should come in that quickly. And I will be willing to bet you that in the next few weeks, somebody in your life is going to say to you, man, I got lucky, the bank made a mistake. They deposited some money in my checking account. I'm not going to tell them it was an error. And you need to tell them, no, it wasn't a mistake. This is Joe Biden, okay? This is your child care tax credit, and they're going to give it to you for the next 5 months. I promise you, there are people in this city that money's going to show up in their account, they're going to have no idea why it got there. They won't know the president did it, but it's important for you to look and make sure they gave you the right amount. So if the answer to all 3 of those things, 3 things is yes, you should not have to do anything except check your bank account on Friday and make sure the money's there. If you don't have a bank account or the IRS doesn't have an account, they'll mail the check to your house. Now, I'm not going to give you any assurance on when the post office is delivering mail around here. But if they don't have your banking information, they will mail that check to your house each month for the next 6 months. Whatever address you have on file when you filed your IRS tax form, they will send the check to that address. If you've moved, again, some things that you may need to do to make sure that that check catches up to you. That's how the money comes. Now, this is the first question I get asked every time. Does it count against my public benefits? This is going to jeopardize my bridge card. The federal law says your child care tax credit does not count as income against your public benefits. None of your public benefits will be reduced for taking this money. It is not income. So I know there's a whole lot of people who keep very close track of how much I can make before my benefits are cut. This will not hurt it. Take the check. It's not a problem. Second, if you owe the IRS money, they're going to send you the monthly payments anyway. They're not going to garnish your payments. The IRS won't. And so this is the federal government saying they want to get money directly to your children. So if you're worried, oh, I got back taxes from before, they may deal with that at some point down the road, but they won't be doing it in the monthly payments at least for the next 6 months. That money is going to flow to you because the president wants you to have that money to take care of your kids. So don't be worrying about the money. We're going to have some complicated situations, and we're going to have to work through them. We're going to have people here who are going to help you work through them. But what if somebody else claimed my child as a dependent on my 2020 taxes? And that's not unusual. Maybe your sister was taking care of your child in 2019 or 2020, and your sister claimed your child on her taxes. There's nothing wrong with that. But in the IRS's records, your child is listed as a dependent on your sister. Now, if you've taken the child back, then you can get the money. Here's the thing that you got to remember over and over. Only one person can claim that $3,000 or $3,600 for each child. There'll be a Social Security number. It's going to be paid to one guardian. Okay? If you're the custodial guardian in 2021, that money comes to you. Whether your mother had your son or daughter, whoever had the child in 2020, if you have the child in 2021, you are taking care of your son or daughter or niece or nephew, whoever it is. If you're taking care of them more than 6 months of the year this year, you're entitled to the child care credit for 2021. This is a 2021 child care credit. So it's your claim, but we could have a little bit of an awkward situation. And I would say there is a process by which two different adults can dispute who gets to claim the child as a dependent. If you want the IRS to adjudicate that for you, they will. I would say, but you won't get any monthly payments because the IRS is going to take who knows how long to figure it out. We are so much better off if you can work it out, whether it's a divorce situation, a shared custody situation, whatever it is, you are so much better off to work it out with the other person who cares for your child than you are to go through the IRS dispute resolution process. So this is only going to matter if somebody else claimed your child as a dependent in last year's tax filing. Otherwise, none of this matters, but I know there are going to be cases we will. If you are in this situation, and you're going to hear about this over and over, we're going to get you people to help you fill out your taxes. And I'm going to show you the sites over and over, but you can go to getthethaxfax.org or call 211. Some of the folks sitting up here are going to help you fill out the taxes, get your money, solve your disputes. They're going to be here for you in that process. But I'm just trying to give you an overview of how the program will work. What if I'm pregnant now or adopting by the end of 2021? Remember, this is a credit for 2021. It's how many children do you have December 31st. And so if you deliver your baby before the end of 2021, or if you adopt a baby this year, you're entitled to $3,600. If you deliver that baby on December 31st, that baby comes with a $3,600 check. And so there are going to be some anxious parents the last week of December. But it is the number of children you have under the age of 17 and under on December 31st. To claim the money for a new baby, of course, you have to tell the IRS. They don't know, right? The IRS doesn't have that much information about you. So you're going to have to get your baby a Social Security number, and typically your hospital will take care of that for you at the time of delivery. You're going to have to update your IRS forms and share the good news with the IRS. And we're going to help you do that at getthefax.org or calling 211. And then a month or two later, you're going to start getting the monthly payments. So if you have the baby in August and you tell the IRS in August, somewhere around September or October, you'll start getting your monthly checks. You'll still get the full $3,600. Because when you file your taxes the next year, whatever else you were owed, you get the whole $3,600. So maybe I got two payments of $300 in 2021, so I got $600 in monthly payments. I'm going to get $3,000 when I file my taxes. One way or another, if you deliver a baby or adopt during this year, you're going to get the full $3,600. You are entitled to that. Okay. I filed my 2019-2020 taxes. I claimed my dependents. I got my stimulus check deposited in my bank. All right? You should be golden. Your first payment should show up in your bank account July 15th. Now, if you distrust the government and you want to check, you can go right now on the irs.gov child tax credit, and you can see if you're due. They'll show you right on that site how much you're going to be getting. And if you want to change your bank information, they've got a link that says Manage Payments. Now, if you want to say, for the next 6 months, I do not want to trust the post office to deliver the check to my house, you may want to open a bank account. And then you can go onto this site, put that bank account information on your site, and the next 5 months, the money will be deposited directly in your bank account. Or if you switch banks, you want to go on there and put the new bank account information in to make sure the money is being deposited to the correct account. And so the IRS does have a way for you to look right now how much you're getting and what bank they're sending it to and give you a chance to fix it. And again, our folks can help you if you need that help. But if you're in this situation, there's an excellent chance that money is just going to automatically show up in your account every single month. Now, what if you didn't file your 2019 or 2020 taxes? A lot of people that didn't. They didn't make enough money. They didn't owe any taxes. And I know people who say, I didn't make enough to pay any taxes. Why should I bother to file a return? And this is why you should, because we're going to help you file right now. There's nothing that says that we can't file your 2020 tax returns right now, and that will get you this money. And so we have partnered with two absolutely outstanding nonprofits in this city, the Accounting Aid Society and Wayne Metro Community Action Agency. These folks have got volunteers who are going to do your tax returns for free. They're going to help you get this money, and they're ready to go to work for you right now. They are committed to lifting our families out of poverty. Anybody who's been in the earned income tax credit side, where Detroit has just had phenomenal success getting checks, they've been a big part of that. You can make an appointment, give them till tomorrow, but call 211 or go to getthethaxfax.org. And they will prepare your taxes for free if you make under $57,000. If you make more, they may charge you a little bit. But they've got thousands of appointment slots set up right now. And so if you didn't file taxes in 19 or 20, call them in the morning. Get your appointment schedule. They'll help you. You're not in any trouble for not filing your taxes. They'll help you file them now, and then the money will start to flow for you. And this is the way the world works. I guarantee you, every middle class, upper middle class family who's got a CPA doing their tax return, they already did this. I want to make sure every family in this city has just as good a CPA working for you, and that's what these folks are doing. They're getting qualified tax preparers to do it. And if you say, I'm really good at this, I want to file on my own, there's software on United Way, and you can go on tomorrow. And they'll help you file your taxes on more of a self-help mode. Here's where we need your help, and that's to tell your friends and family. Think about this. How many people in your life right now do you think know they've got thousands of dollars coming to them starting Thursday? How many of you talk to who say that, right? People don't know. Somehow this country has not publicized it. Part of it's so complicated, people don't understand it. Part of it is nobody's ever seen anything like it. They don't believe it. But it's true. And so we need you to reach out to folks. You know somebody in your life has got children, and you could use that kind of money? Tell them about this. So more than 90%, and I think it's going to turn out to be more than 95% of families with children are going to be eligible. 20,000 children out of paperwork. And so if your friends or family didn't see this video will be on our website at detroitmi.gov. They will be able to watch it tomorrow or the next day or the next day. They can see exactly how this works. They can call the number, and the Accounting Aid Society of Wayne Metro will get them in for an appointment. If we all watch out for each other and tell other families about this, there are going to be 20,000 children in this city living in poverty today who will no longer be living in poverty in 6 months. At least for 1 year, they will be lifted out of poverty and get the kind of support they deserve. And that's what we're trying to accomplish. Okay, we are going to take questions right now for our panel. So we have Afton Branch Wilson, the Assistant Director of Community Initiatives and Poverty Solutions at the University of Michigan, and somebody who will be taking advantage of the new delivery $3,600 provision in the coming months. We have Luis Garcia, the Head of Media Relations for the Internal Revenue Service, and Matt Heatherwick, Director of the Individual Tax Programs at the Accounting Aid Society. What I have just shared with you is the extent of my understanding of this. It's been a long time since I practiced tax law, but these folks know the rules today. And so, if you've got a question, you can text it to 313-450-9168, or you can submit it online at detroitmi.gov/childtaxcredit. And you can send your questions in, and we will answer them here. And we have about 15 people here on site with me. We're going to start with questions from them, and then we will work in our questions from text and online there. But if you'll start, tell me your name and where you live, and what's your question?
Good evening. My name is Jacqueline Moore. Organization is SDM2 Project Education. I actually have two questions. I've been talking to some moms about what's getting ready to take place. Some moms don't feel it as something this new is happening. I've had moms to tell me, well, all they're doing is giving me my lump sum in monthly payments. So if we could elaborate the difference between the tax credit that you would normally get doing your income tax return as opposed to what this is. What is the difference so they can understand it's not the same thing? Secondly, which is a broader question.
We're not in any hurry. I'm going to take these one at a time. So who wants to talk about what's the difference from a normal child tax credit and what's here? Which of you would like to take that?
I can certainly start there. Go ahead. These payments are advanced payments of the credit. So this current year, the credit was $2,000. Now with this increased amount by Congress, it's going to be $3,600, $3,000. Half of it's going to be an advancement from the payment that you would have received in a typical year when you would file your income tax return.
So instead of $2,000, it's either $3,000 or $3,600. So if they were filing all along getting $2,000, If the child's 5 and under, they're getting $3,600. If the child's above that, they're getting $3,000.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Okay?
The next question is kind of broad. It might not be able to get a direct answer from this panel, but I wanted to put it on the table. During COVID, of course, there was a lot of challenges with housing. So I've had some moms to talk about this credit. Is there an opportunity, because of the additional amount that they're going to be receiving, to have some type of partnership with the Detroit Land Bank or maybe some contractors to move them from a renter into the possibility of a homeowner, which I think would be huge if we're moving people off of poverty?
Boy, that is such a great question. So, and the answer is absolutely that can be done. So if you go to our website, buildingdetroit.org, the land bank sells 300 or 400 houses every single month. We are selling more now than we ever have, because I think a lot of people sitting at home during COVID said, why am I paying $800 or $1,000 a month to rent? I could own a place, pay the taxes for less money. I don't have to ever worry about being evicted again. Exactly. But those houses are going to take a lot of work. So you're going to have to make a judgment about how much money am I getting here? Do I have enough to fix up the house? But the answer for sure is you can go on the website right now, and we have a lot of houses, not just auctions, but Own It Now. And maybe your group could do a session where the land bank could come in and talk about it. But if somebody's getting, $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 they wouldn't otherwise get, they say, I never want to worry about a landlord again. There are some people who could use that money and do just what you're saying. I think it's a great idea.
Sounds great. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Hi, my name is Sharon Kilgore. I'm here as a parent advocate, and I have some questions from parents. One of the questions is, if they let someone else claim their child on their taxes in 2020, is there a way that they could rectify it and get their child tax credit?
Who wants to take that? Go ahead.
And
Yes. What you can do is the irs.gov on the website for the advanced child tax credit, there is the child tax credit update tool. And that's where you can input, and this is going to be online late August. So they can update that the child is their qualifying child and not somebody else's. And it's also important to note that nobody should be, I know sometimes there are people who, they say, well, I can max out the EITC, the Earned Income Tax Credit, with 3 children. I've got 5, so I'm going to lend these 2 over to this person, and maybe I can get a cut of that. First off, that's illegal. Don't do that. And secondly, you're exposing those children's personal information, Social Security number, birth date, and so on, so that it can be used later on for possibly some sort of fraud. So it's best to, if they're your children, always claim your children.
So here's what I would say to you is, as I think it's great the IRS is going to have self-help available in August. I would say anybody in that situation, call tomorrow and make an appointment with Wayne Metro, the Accounting Aid Society. Get the facts.org or dial 211. Because as you just said, this can be complicated, but the answer is yes. You can get it done. You can claim the credit. But if it were me, I would want these professional folks to walk me through it, and we will help you get through that, because there's no reason you can't do that.
Okay, thank you. And then the second question is, if I filed my taxes for 2019 and 2020, but I haven't received my refunds, and I haven't received my refund for my stimulus checks, how can I expect to receive this? Or
Well,
I got to ask the IRS this question. Go ahead.
So in that regard, we do have a backlog. There are some people who they've either had to have filed via paper, and that's a backlog. And there are some people who have errors on their returns or have been flagged for possible fraud. Maybe somebody stole their identity and filed before they did. So there are some people who they filed and they haven't gotten their refund, they haven't gotten anything yet, but they should have gotten something in the mail saying, hey, we believe there's some possible fraud activity using your information, so your refund or your tax return is on hold. If you qualify for the advanced child tax credit, you should have gotten a letter from the IRS saying, you qualify, this is how many children, this is how much, and you can expect that first payment July 15th. So there should have been a letter sent from the IRS, received from the IRS about a month ago or before, that tells you this money is coming. I know sometimes people, life is busy, and maybe they didn't read it carefully, but they should have gotten something in the mail. If not, they can also go use Accounting Aid or Wayne Metro, or go to the website, irs.gov. If you go to the Advanced Child Tax Credit Eligibility tool, there should be some information for you there.
Okay, so they may be backed up in getting you your refund from 20, but you still should be getting your check July 15th in most cases.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Great questions.
Hi, how are you? My name is Jasmine Maham. I am a parent advocate for the community. I wanted to basically touch note on people who get Social Security with the child credit, see how that goes. Because a lot of people are not understanding with Social Security on, and a lot of people are not filing because of Social Security. So,
Because the child doesn't have a Social Security number?
no, the parents are on.
The parents are on Social Security.
Right, and a lot of parents are not being able to get the full understanding on how to file or not filing because of Social Security. So are they eligible?
Somebody want to take that if you got it? So I think we talked about this. It shouldn't affect your other benefits, but
Correct. So receiving the child tax credit won't affect the Social Security benefits that you get. And what's great about this is you don't need earned income. So if you're just on Social Security and you're not working right now, you're still eligible for the child tax credit. So for those parents, you want to talk to them and make sure they feel comfortable filing their taxes this year. You direct them to the website, encourage them to sign up for a tax prep appointment, and they should be able to get their payments.
it won't affect their Social Security, disability, or other payments. They get this also.
And that money should be coming directly to the account that they're using to receive their Social Security benefits.
But what if it's not? Like, what if they're not able? Like a lot of parents are saying that they didn't get a stimulus check from Social Security because a lot of people was filing their kids or they didn't file at all, so they didn't get any of the benefits.
So if you have not filed, and that's one of the things that programs like this is so important for, if you didn't file a tax return, you can file one with, you can get on our radar, so to speak, so that we know to send that money to you.
Right.
And that's the non-filer tool, and that's also at the Child Tax Credit website. However, if you're receiving Social Security benefits, and we know of your dependents, you should be receiving that money.
So, but I'm going to make this really simple. If you didn't file before, go to getthetextfax.org or 211, and we will help you. We will get it filed and make sure you can get this money. The most important thing I say to you is, I've been on the IRS website. I spent a couple hours on it. And everything Mr. Garcia says is true. If you're really good at it, there's a way you could do all this stuff yourself. But I would say the questions you're asking, just dial 211 or go to getthetextfax.org and let these folks do it for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Did we answer everything?
Yeah.
You're not sure? Okay. All right.
Hi, Cher Connor. I have a question. It may be a little bit redundant. I may somewhat be answering her question. The non-filers, I fall in that category because I have adopted children and they receive survivor's benefits. So normally I don't file, but I have questions. I had a person that did put me in the last time, but there was a lot of uncertainty about the child tax credit. So I just want a clarification as far as like with adoption subsidy. I know sometimes that income counts and sometimes it doesn't for certain things. So I just want a clarification as far as like the child tax credit.
If you have children, adopted children, you qualify. If you don't have income, you qualify. It's not just earned income that counts. If you used the non-filer tool before, you are probably on the IRS website. If you go to the IRS eligibility tool, and you should see that you are going to receive this money. If you don't, if there's no information there, then you can use the non-filer tool to once again put yourself on the radar with the IRS and give us your your information, your children's information, your account information, and their direct deposits can begin.
All right, so here's what I would say to you. If you understood all that, that's great, but let me try it a different way. Matt, if this mom walked into your office and you were doing the tax preparation, what would you tell her?
I'd ask a lot about the state of Michigan tax return as well. State of Michigan has a homestead property tax credit, which is eligible for homeowners or renters, up to $1,500 annually. Plus, there's also the home heating credit. And so there's a chance that by not filing a state tax return, you may be leaving money on the table that you could be getting. So coming and seeing us or going and seeing our friends at Wayne Metro, we give you a chance to file a complete income tax return that, one, updates all your information in the system for the IRS, but also might get you access to credits to the state of Michigan that you might be missing.
So he's going to look at your adoption payments, he's going to look at everything else, and he's going to look at these child tax credit payments, and he's going to tell you the way that gets the most. But this will not affect the adoption subsidies, right?
Correct.
This is not income. You can get both, but I would say to you, there's a whole bunch of folks. How many volunteers have we got?
We have over 400 at our agency.
Okay, so 400 people. There's 400 people like Matt waiting to help you. And rather than me trying to do this, you sit down with them, make the appointment. These guys are great. They will figure out how to get you every dollar that you're entitled to.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that as far as like the state. So since I have not in the past, do they do retro or how far back do you go?
Yeah, we could go back 4 years for the state of Michigan.
Oh, okay.
So that could be almost $6,000.
You might want to see Matt before he leaves the room
I
tonight.
do. Thank you so much.
All right. But these are great questions. I took a full year of income tax law in law school, and I can't do my own returns. That's how complicated this has got.
My name is Katie Moreno-Elst, and I'm in Pingree Park and a member of the Junior Block Club. So I have questions from the mothers there. You answered all of them, but I have one that didn't get answered. Would it lower my refund in the spring, reducing the lump sum that we would get for child tax credits when you file your taxes for next year?
It will lower the amount that you receive. So some people, they can opt out. Some people will say, well, I don't need that additional 300 or 900, whatever it comes out to, for the next 6 months. I would rather get it in a lump sum. So yes, it does affect the what you get at the end. It's half of that $3,600, and if but it is a refundable credit, so it doesn't count against. So it may count against if you owe next year. Some people say, well, I don't need it for my kids, but I know I'm going to owe at the end of the year. Say I'm a gig worker. I don't always pay on a quarterly basis. So I'm going to save that money. So when I file next year, I have owe less, or I get a bit of a refund, as opposed to getting that money ahead of time and then owing some. So it depends.
Okay, and how does one opt out if they don't want it?
I'm about to show you.
Great.
Which is why I'm clicking through. So if you go to this website, irs.gov/child tax credit, there is a link there that says manage payments, right? Am I in the right spot?
Yep.
If you go to that link, manage payments, you can choose to opt out and get your whole $3,000 next year if you want. They'll stop sending you the monthly checks. So you just go hit manage payments, right? That's the right way to do it?
Sounds
Put
good.
your information in there and just say, no, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I really did read your website.
Hi, this is all great information. My name is Cristina Mireles, and I'm an advocate for smart schools. And my question is, I've come across through great resources for families. So will there be translated websites for those that are, that we do work with families that speak other languages?
Chelsea, would you come up and answer that question, please?
Yes, so we are working with a coalition of stakeholders, and we just received all of the printed collateral that we are translating to Spanish, Arabic, and Bengali, and it will be up on Get the Tax Facts website next week.
All right.
And from the IRS perspective, our Spanish version of the child tax credit landing page just went live today.
Well, that was
Even
good
greater
timing.
news. Thank you so much.
All right.
Hi, my name is Christopher Johnson. I am a parent, and also I am the Vice President of the Bagley Community Council. You've answered pretty much all my questions, but just for clarification, is there a cap on the number of children? That was the only other question
Nope.
that I had.
Nope, as long as they're 17 or under, there's no limit, right? No, we didn't max out in this
I
country.
mean, they're all your kids, right?
Not mine, but
If they're all legally whoever taxpayers' children, then absolutely.
If they're genuinely your dependents, there's no limit.
Hi, my name is Willie Moore, and I have a question. From what I'm hearing, this is great, and it's great news for everyone, but it sounds as though we're giving them a fish as opposed to teaching them how to fish. So how do we have, or is there any organizations that are out there that is going to help them, as we're going to try to pull them out of poverty, to manage or budget that in which they get? So come 2022 and 23 and going forward, that we don't fall back into that situation again.
Yeah, in fact, so I don't want to spend a lot of time on this today because I'm trying to keep this focus, but of the $826 million that the city of Detroit got, we have got intergenerational poverty programs that include financial literacy through the Community Health Corps. And so those programs will be available through the city for managing. And I think one of the earlier questions was a great one. If I could take this and get the opportunity to go from being a renter to a buyer, I mean, there is a great financially a good move for the future. But the answer is yes, the city will be running a number of those programs. Today, I just want people to get their money in, though.
Thank you.
Do we have oh, good. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Rihanna. I'm a mother of two. And my question, you may have briefly touched on it. I just wanted to know, how do you ensure that, well, I had a child in 2021, January. So how do you ensure?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Son or daughter?
A daughter, she's 6 months.
All right.
How do you ensure, or how would I ensure that her identification is updated with the IRS so that I could start receiving payments as early as this week?
Somebody want to take that?
Sure, I can. Well, congratulations.
Thank
I'm
you.
looking for tips
You
from
too.
you. So you'll need to go to the irs.gov/childtaxcredit. And actually on that website, you can see what's already coming to you. So you may already have a child tax credit coming to you if you filed your taxes before. So go to Manage Payments. You'll need an email address. You need to log in and give some verification information. And then you can see if something's already coming to you. And if it isn't, think about whether you filed your taxes or not, and then make some appointments with the tax prep provider to get that done.
Okay.
So you either go to that site and hit the Manage Payments button and add your daughter in,
Okay.
Or you go to getthethaxfax.org or dial 211, and Matt will do it for you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
My name is Abraham. I live in Detroit. Thank you for your great service in the city of Detroit. My question is how this child credit will affect the child who have a disability and have some money from Social Security.
Well, if the child is a Social Security, is a recipient of Social Security, but they're being claimed on their parents' return, the parent is still eligible for that credit, so it doesn't affect it.
It means
if you're a recipient,
you get both.
Okay.
That's what he's saying. You get both.
All right.
Doesn't cut your Social Security disability payment at all.
Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Tashia Melton. My question is for the fathers that may have issues as far as child support. I know the stimulus was taken away, the first stimulus. Some people said that they didn't receive the second or the third one. So will the tax credit be taken for fathers who owe child support?
taken to for The child tax credit?
The question is if there's a garnishment order on a child support payment, and the father gets the tax credit payment.
Yes.
So they will receive it.
No, they won't receive it.
They won't receive.
will
So
not
that was my
receive it.
question. A lot of people had questions regarding that because their stimulus was taken before, so they wanted to know, will the child care credit be taken as well?
Right.
Nothing stops the friend of the court
Correct. I
from
agree.
garnishing payments. So this.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
That is right, isn't it, Matt?
Yes,
Okay.
it's true.
Hi, my name is Suleiman Sangare. I'm from Masjid Salam community. My question is an expansion of the question that was asked earlier with regard to if someone claimed a child this year, 2020, and then 2021, another one claimed it, because this is half of this year. You will receive half this year and half will be next year. So if you one person claimed 2020 and another one claimed 21, would that create any other problem for this program?
Not in theory it won't, but I would say get our tax preparer to handle it. If the child legitimately lives with you most of this year, 2021, and you're the guardian, there's no reason you can't switch it. But I would really encourage you, make your appointment at getthetexfax.org or call 211, because it could be a complicated issue. And I would really encourage you to have a professional help you through it. But the answer is, if that child is truly your dependent this year, you can get the money for this year.
No, I mean, in this scenario, there's no issue with it, with both sides. But it's just like I'm cleaning it 2020, and another one, my brother is cleaning on 2021, because he's going to get half of it if it goes no problem. That's what I'm saying. Would they create any problem in this scenario? Would they say, oh, I already say, well, no, we already sent half to this child,
No,
to this person?
that's not uncommon to have parents have the child claim the child as a dependent on off years.
Yeah.
So they just go back and forth. So it wouldn't create any problem. It's a common occurrence.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Do we have questions from our callers?
Most of them have been asked by our attendees, so I think that we're all set, sir.
All right. Well, I want to thank our panel here for those great questions. And everybody, you now know what's available to your friends and family with children. Let's make sure we get every dollar into the city we can. Thank you very much for joining us. All right. You were terrific.
That's a good number. Yeah, that's very big. Great job.
Well, I learned a lot.